shirt?
No.
Very fetching.
Absolutely horrific.
Is that a wash accident? Did you put it in with your
big,
colours?
your big girl's blouse. That's all I'm going to say.
Is that last year's white shirt that's been in the wash?
Yeah.
I thought it was dress a week.
I bet he's wearing pink frilly knickers and all.
Oh, you've guessed.
Or a tutu.
A tutu.
You didn't need a United shirt for that.
Oh, he's wearing a 1-1. He couldn't afford a 2-2.
It looks fantastic, Keith. Looks fantastic.
It's actually, he done on the screen, don't do it justice. It actually looks quite good. I was surprised.
Compared with?
I must come down and have a look at it.
Compared with?
No,
Did you get it?
You'll never be convinced, John. You'll never be convinced.
right.
No.
As a casual shirt.
Which game are they going to wear that in?
Away game.
Keith, when you're in a hole,
Stop digging.
that's the one.
We're still trying to connect to audio.
Perhaps we could get rid of Keith's video.
I don't know what it is.
It's a lovely shirt.
It's Colin.
He was here a minute ago.
Oh, he's back. He's back. Here we go. He's trying again.
You see what he's thinking. You see the top of his head.
Oh, he's coming through again. He's on
Hey,
this now.
oh.
Well, we've got two of them.
Two Colin.
There's Colin and there's Colin.
He's
Is he laptop and phone?
Split
come through twice,
personality.
Colin.
So good they showed him twice.
Yeah. So, everybody, we're all right. I think that's everybody this week. Ron the Knowledge is unavailable this week. So, and Dave round the corner from us, he's grand sitting today. So, shall we move on with it? And we'll start off with John's news of the group.
News of the group. News of the group. Stuart, he had a blood transfusion on Friday. He's doing well. He's back on chemo, but he's typical Stuart, as cheery as ever. Very good humour, despite being a Wednesday night. Ed is fine, but fed up. It's his birthday on the 22nd. Just a very quick idea. I thought one or two of us who'll go to Baton Miners Welfare might want to call in and sing him happy birthday outside his window or something like that, or drop him a card off on the 19th. But we can talk about that.
You were already feeling down.
Exactly. That'll teach him. It was Eric's birthday on the 9th, and he had a great day. I phoned him, and it was as if he was at a circus. He was having a brilliant time. I think that might have been police coming to take him away, so I'm not so sure. It's Vinny's birthday on the 19th as well, and I've sent Vinny and Eric cards on behalf of us. And Eric's very pleased with this. It's got a few Wednesday pictures on it, and for some reason a shed. I don't know where I got that from, which amused his wife because he's never seen a shed or been in garden in his life. So. So just a very quick point about Baton Miners Welfare next Wednesday. There are 12 definites now, plus a 13 if Dave Heathcote confirms that he's going. You're all right then, Dave?
Yes.
And you know where it is and everything?
Yes.
10 o'clock here, that's great. That's 13. The 14th will be Glyn. I'm fairly sure he's coming. He's just not acknowledged it. Sorry.
There's a 15th, Big Paul.
Yeah, I'd like to come, John. Yeah.
Big Paul. It's only 15 guineas for you, Paul. Had you got
15.
in earlier, it would have been £1. Just one of them
15
things.
guineas.
Yeah. Well, all right,
Now,
I'll let you off with a
is
£1. So your name is added to the list, Paul.
Yeah. Is there anyone else? Brian, have you already told John?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, is it tomorrow?
No, it's a week tomorrow.
Week tomorrow. Yeah, it should be okay. Should be okay.
Yeah, I've not got you down, Brian, but you are down now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try and get there.
Could you send us
We've
a
got all
postcode or something?
facilities. We've got masks, spare masks, spray, sheep dip, cake, biscuits, coffee, tea, drink on a stick, a Hawaiian dancer.
Keith.
Oh, that is Keith. Yeah, you're.
I will send out.
Who's got the shirt for
the
it?
postcode.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Keith. That's
So
fine.
see you there, Brian. See you there, Dave.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
John.
Great. Yes.
John, Chris, my
That's me.
apologies. I can't make it. I'm sorry.
But you were doing a guest spot. I've got a spotlight especially for you, and
Yeah,
a glitter
okay.
ball.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, I've got glitter balls. Thank you.
Have you?
So I've heard.
Yeah. No, I'm ever so sorry, John. I can't make it, mate. Sorry.
I shouldn't really say this, but I'm going to say it would be good to see you in the flesh, but I don't mean it as it sounds.
It doesn't get any better. Honestly.
Oh,
It's
no.
no better.
Anyway, that's your lot. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well done with your efforts.
Other vegetables are available.
Right. Next, we'll move swiftly on to LOL's News of the Week.
News of the week.
Quite-
News of the week.
Quite a bit to get through, so I'll rush on. Now, first of all, some breaking news from the world of cycling. TV mogul Simon Cowell has thanked medical staff who treated him in Los Angeles following a bike accident in which he broke his back. Cowell was taken to hospital after falling off his new electric bike in the courtyard of his Malibu home. The 60-year-old said he should have read the manual before riding it. What a plonker. And to think he runs shows like Britain's Got Talent and he can't even ride a chuffing bike.
Very bitter. Very bitter.
Apparently, we're trying to do a wheelie.
Anyway, on to serious stuff now. Horse racing. Now, prize money for Britain's richest race day has been cut by 40% as the fallout from COVID continues to hit racing. The £2.5 million on offer for British Champions Day at Ascot on the 17th of October is down by 1.7 million from last year. The big race at Ascot, the Champion Stakes, is worth £750,000 compared to 1.3 million last year. Another casualty of the pandemic is William Hill, who are permanently closing 119 of its 1,500 UK betting shops. The company says it does not expect customers to return in the numbers seen before the lockdown.
I
It
won't
said
bet
that
on
about
that.
300 staff were affected and most have been redeployed.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, got that one.
So what's Chris just put on his head?
It's pink. I've come out in sympathy.
Nice of you to come out of the closet in company amongst friends, Chris. Thank you.
I knew I could do that in safety. Thank you.
Any more comments? No? Nip on to Formula One. Now, Formula One tyre supplier, Pirelli, said that the failures suffered by 3 cars near the end of the first race at Silverstone Grand Prix were caused by extremely long use on a very demanding circuit. Both Mercedes cars and the McLaren of Carlos Sainz suffered left front failures in the final 3 laps. It also said the increased speeds of the 2020 cars had also contributed. Now, this last weekend, Max Verstappen ended Mercedes' dominance with a superb victory at Silverstone in the 70th anniversary Grand Prix. Although Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton started the race in pole and second on the grid respectively, they had no answer to the Dutchman, who crossed the line 11.3 seconds ahead of Hamilton, who finished second with Bottas third. Once again, Mercedes had tyre problems, which helped Verstappen in his victory for Red Bull. Anybody watch it?
No, yes, 2 things.
Yep.
whatever you said, first front tyre, something like alliteration. I thought you said brilliantly. I can't even remember it. But secondly, I thought that second race was fascinating. What the Red Bull team did was change their aerofoil setting, so they reduced the downforce on the tyres on a very hot day, thereby reducing the wear on the tyre. They went slower, but they calculated that the time it would take Bottas and co to come in and change tyres and what have you, and the problems they were having managing the tyre. And Hamilton said it was the hardest race he had for managing tyres and tyre usage because it was unevenly worn. They actually found a formula that can beat the Mercedes in the hot weather by actually reducing the downforce on the tyre, thereby managing its wear more effectively and not necessarily going faster, but actually managing the race better, if you can understand me.
Yeah.
I thought
Didn't Verstappen have a harder tyre anyway, Ian?
Yes, but they still have this, you know, they've got to wear, start again. There were softer tyres than last week for a start. They would actually double the grade softer. So last week's soft was this week's medium, for example.
So,
Sorry?
Don't they all super soft as well?
That's super soft. Well, they got super soft, and they had to use them, and that was part of the race. So they had to come up with a race strategy for actually getting through with, obviously, the minimum amount of pit stops and what have you. Mercedes thought they'd got that, but somebody on the Red Bull team, in my view, thought right outside the box, said, well, what actually wears the tyres in hot weather? It's the downforce. They've spent all this money on aerodynamically improving the motor racing cars, Formula One, over decades. And somebody's thought out of the box, said, we've got to stop that. It's actually damaging the tyres. And they got away with it. Sorry, I just thought it was fascinating.
Yeah, Barcelona will be interesting next week.
Yes.
Yep.
It's another hot circuit, Keith, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see how Mercedes come back, whether they change their aerodynamic strategy.
So it's almost as much to do with the back room then as it is the driver, isn't
The
it?
whole thing is instrumented, John. It's I watched the qualify. I'm a sad bastard. I'll have to edit that out, won't I? But I watched the qualifying, the practice races, and what have you. And the technology, the instrumentation, the setup, you know, just to do the practice sessions and the rest of it, as well as the race. And as I said, Lewis Hamilton's biggest comment about the last week's race was that he had to manage, his brain was working 20 to the dozen, managing his tyre wear, not racing, but how to actually preserve his tyres.
Yeah.
I think it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Right. Carry on.
Yeah.
Right, snooker. The four-time champion, John Higgins, he made a maximum 147 break, but could not avoid a shock 13-11 defeat by Norwegian qualifier Kurt Mafflin in the world's second round of the World Championships.
Just believe
It was the
it.
11th Crucible maximum since Cliff Thorburn made the first in 1983. Only Ronnie O'Sullivan has made more maximums than Higgins in snooker tournaments. Now, the first officially recognised 147 was by Joe Davis in a 1955 exhibition match in London. At the Classic in January 1982, Steve Davis achieved the first in professional competition, which was also the first to be televised. Now, O'Sullivan, he also holds the record of 15 maximums and also the fastest 147, timed at 5 minutes 8 seconds, which he achieved at the 1997 World Championship in Sheffield. And the maximum breaks have gradually become more frequent, with only 8 in the 1980s, 26 in the 1990s, 35 in the 2000s, and 86 in the 2010s. In theory, breaks of up to 155 are possible if the referee awards a free ball before any reds have been potted. In practice, this has only happened once in professional competition. Does anybody know when that was? Any ideas?
Was it in China?
No, it was in England.
No.
It was by Jamie Burnett. He made a 148 in qualifying for the 2004 UK Championship. Now, Stephen Hendry and Ronnie
Hang
O'Sullivan
on.
have
Whoa,
both.
whoa. Hang on.
What's up?
Hang on. A 148. You said 155 earlier on.
Yeah, that's a possible, yeah. That,
So he's gone over the
what I'm
maximum.
saying is there's only one player that's made more than 147.
All right. Okay. Sorry.
Right with it.
Well, it could be anything up to 155, above
Yeah,
147.
Yeah.
Pay attention, Keith.
Stephen Hendry
Sorry.
and Ronnie O'Sullivan, they've each made 3 maximums at the Crucible. Now we're going to nip on to cricket. Now, before we come to the Test match, Ireland stunned England in a thrilling third one-day international by completing a run chase of 329 with just 1 ball left. At
Is
the
that one of
Ageas
those
Bowl.
ODIs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, Paul
Just a
Sterling.
minute. Just a minute here. Just a minute here. Who was it in library wanted to know where a gelding was? I remember somebody asking, what's a gelding?
Was it me, Paul?
No, I said, is Keith a gelding? I said,
No, somebody asked what, and I think that outdoes an ODI anytime. Anyway, just because I've got an ODI, don't make you a bad people because you haven't got one. Bad people.
I tell you what, Paul, you can't breed from a gelding, from an ODI.
No, you can't.
Oh, okay, we'll have a truce
Sorry,
now.
Lol. Sorry, Lol.
Okay, it's
We'll
all
have a
right.
truce.
Like I said, they got 329 with just 1 ball to spare.
like what you've done,
Paul
Keith.
Sterling smashed 142 off 128 balls, and captain Andrew Balbirnie 113 off 112 balls, sharing a superb stand of 214 for the second wicket. As well as the stand being a record for Ireland, so was the run chase, as Ireland won by 7 wickets, although England won the series 2-1. Now, England, they won an exciting first test against Pakistan at Old Trafford. Chasing 277 to win, the match was going in Pakistan's favour as England slumped to 117 for 5 in their second innings. But then Josh Buckler and Chris Wokes produced a fantastic stand of 139 on an unpredictable pitch to rescue the home team, who eventually won by 3 wickets with a day to spare. Now, I've got some stats which you might find interesting. It was the second highest ever run chase to win a test at Old Trafford by England. Does anybody know which the highest run chase was for England to win a test match at Old Trafford?
Was it Ian Boulton? Freddie Flintoff?
No, it was only 12 years ago. They played New Zealand.
New Zealand.
No.
Yeah, it was 294 for 4 to beat New Zealand.
Right.
It was the highest ever successful run chase by England against Pakistan, beating the 219 for 7 made at Headingley in 1982. It was England's 10th highest successful run chase of all time. It was the 5th highest run chase by any team to beat Pakistan. Joe Root, he's England's 80th captain. Now, does anybody know what England's highest ever run chase was to beat a team? It happened last year.
337.
Happened last year at Headingley.
356.
You're not far away, just a bit higher. They got 362 for 9 when they beat Australia.
Yeah.
Now, a player to watch out for, 17-year-old fast bowler Naseem Shah. He has been likened to the great Australian bowler Dennis Lillee in his action. Smooth, slick, and sideways on. In fact, his teammates were crying out to him between deliveries, Lily Shaw, Lily Shaw. Remember that? Anybody watch it?
Yes.
No.
I had a girlfriend who was smooth and sideways on, but that's another story.
We don't go there, Ian.
Was her name Lily?
Yeah. Lily the Pink. Lily the Pink, isn't it?
Lol,
Is she buying the shirt?
Lol, the thing you haven't mentioned, and I think it's quite serious, he's gone to see his parents,
I'm in front
family
of that now.
reasons. Stokes, I think he's burnt out.
I'm going to that now, Ian.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Sky.
All right.
Sorry.
I'll carry on. Now, Ben Stokes, he will miss the last 2 test matches against Pakistan for family reasons. The 29-year-old has returned to New Zealand, where he was born, and his parents, Ged and Deb, still live. His father was admitted to a hospital in Johannesburg last December with a very serious illness. He spent 37 days there before he was deemed as being able to return to New Zealand to continue his recovery for the last 7 months. Now, I've got a little bit of information about his dad, which you might find interesting. Now, Ged is a former New Zealand Rugby League footballer who played in the 1970s and 80s. He represented the country in 4 non-test matches on the 1982 tour of Australia, before he spent the 1982-3 season in England, where he played for Workington Town in 22 games as prop. After returning to New Zealand, he took up coaching in 1988, and in 2000, he was named New Zealand Coach of the Year, and in 2003 was in charge of the New Zealand A Tour of Great Britain. Now, Ben moved to England at the age of 12 when his father was appointed head coach of Workington after that in New Zealand A Tour of 2003, and he grew up in the small West Cumbrian town of Cockermouth. Ed had 4 years at Workington before coaching Whitehaven for 2 years. They sacked him in August 2010 after winning only 1 game in 14 with a disastrous record of 13 games losing, which led to Whitehaven's relegation from the Championship. As of 2013, he and his wife Deb had gone back to Christchurch to a job working with young offenders. They were also involved in the restoration of Christchurch following the 2011 earthquake.
So
another thing about Ben you might not realize is he's got English and Maori ancestry. All right.
Yeah, just whilst we mention rugby, can anyone name the person who made 100 consecutive passes to Lawrence Delalio? Rugby ball.
The referee.
No.
Johnny Wilkinson.
Mrs. Delalio.
No.
Oh.
He's on screen at the moment.
Well, it can only be Ian.
Ian?
No. No. It's young Mr. Chris Hall.
He made 100 consecutive passes to Lawrence Delalio.
Faultless.
Yes.
That's him, Chris.
Yeah.
Faultless.
Put it on a piece of elastic or what?
Yeah, they're all individually handed to him, passed to him properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
No, come on, tell him, Chris.
Don't be shy, Chris.
Okay. Well, the story goes downhill from this point. Because
Carry on then.
Clearly, I've never been on a rugby field, and it was on an exhibition stand in 2003 before he went off to win the World Cup. And my job on the exhibition stand was I had to pass to him 100 rugby balls for him to sign to give to visiting customers.
Yeah.
And my nightmare scenario was that I would drop one of these at his feet and be photographed as the fumbling fool, you know. So I had to unwrap each ball and very carefully pass it to Lawrence Dallaglio. I did it 100 times and I managed to get away with it. And the 100th ball was obviously mine. And he signed my rugby ball, and I snaffled it up and brought it home.
Chris, tell the truth. You're Matt Dawson, aren't you, with a wig on?
Well, I'd be very honoured to be thought about.
There's a likeness.
And that's the only rugby story you're ever going to hear. So that's it. I didn't know he was going to bring that up, but that's the only rugby story I've got. But it is true.
Yeah, I bet they were all forward passes.
It probably were, yeah.
Right, Lol.
Right. Finally, onto football. Former Real Madrid and Spain goalkeeper Iker Casillas has retired from football at the age of 39. Casillas made 725 appearances for Real during a 16-year career at the Bernabeu, winning 3 Champions League titles, 5 La Liga crowns, and he also helped Spain win the 2010 World Cup and 2 successive European Championships in 2008 and 2012. Casillas then joined Porto in 2015, but has not played since, suffering a heart attack during training in April last year. He made 156 appearances for the Portuguese side, winning 2 Primeira Liga titles and 1 Portuguese Cup. Casillas won 167 caps for Spain between 2000 and 2016. Only Sergio Ramos has made more appearances for the national side. Real Madrid said that Casillas, who joined the Spanish Giants at the age of 9, was the best goalkeeper in the 118-year history of the club. That's some accolade.
They don't know that.
Pardon? Say, John?
I said they can't know that. They
Now,
can't know that he was.
Well, they say that he was. Now, Fulham, they've been promoted to the Premier League after beating Brentford 2-1 in the Championship playoff final at Wembley. After a goalless 90 minutes, left-back Joe Bryan scored twice in extra time to confirm Fulham's return to the Premier League after 1 season down. Now, Wigan, they lost their appeal against a 12-point deduction for going into administration, and this subsequently confirmed their relegation to League One, and Barnsley stay up. The Latics went into administration on the 1st of July when their new Hong Kong-based owners conceded they could not support the club financially. Now, a league table has been drawn up of the worst performing teams after lockdown of Europe's top 6 footballing countries. 4 English clubs are in that top 10. And I ask you now the questions, which 4 do you think they might be?
Liverpool.
Manchester United.
Worst
Man
performing
United.
Norwich.
Liverpool.
They're not as your top. They played 9, lost 9, scored 1, let in 23, points none. Now you've got 2. Anybody else? Any other ideas who might be in that league?
Leicester.
Bournemouth.
No.
Aston Villa.
Leicester.
No.
United.
No. No. There are 2 championships and 1 premiership.
Barnsley.
No. They no. What?
Charlton Athletic.
Nope.
Bristol
Shall I
City.
give them to you?
Bristol
In the
City.
Premier League, it was Crystal Palace. And they came 8th place. They only got 4 points out of those 9 games. In the 5th place was Birmingham, who got 3 points. And in 7th place was Hull, who also got 4 points, but a little bit better goal difference than Crystal Palace. Now, Arsenal, they plan to make 55 staff redundant because of the financial impact of COVID. The Gunners, first team players, and head coach Mikel Arteta had already agreed a 12.5% pay cut in April. So it just shows it's not just the poor clubs that are suffering, it's the bigger clubs as well. I suppose we've got to keep the first team happy, haven't we?
Disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting.
Absolutely
We're all in it
disgusting.
together. We're all in it together. Yeah.
Now, Juventus, they've sacked manager Maurizio Sarri after just one season in charge, despite winning Serie A following the club's Champions League defeat to Lyon last Friday. Former Italian midfielder Andrea Pirlo is to replace him. So there's no loyalty, is there, in Italy? Win the league and you get sacked.
The same thing had happened in Spain as well. It's happened with Real Madrid, hasn't it?
Yeah. And finally, just quickly on to a last note. Last night, Romelu Lukaku set a Europa League record when he scored for a 9th consecutive game as Inter Milan beat Bayer Leverkusen to reach the semi-finals. So he's done well. He's done well for Inter Milan since he's left Everton, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's scored a lot of goals this season, about getting on for 40, I think.
Well, he left Man United actually, Ron.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Man U. Sorry about that, yeah.
Right, thank you very much.
Okay.
One other piece of you, yeah. One other
did
piece
happen.
of.
It did happen.
Oh, he's got the picture with Lawrence Delalio.
Yeah.
What about the ball? Where's the ball?
Yeah, I
Where's
had
the
that
ball?
shirt at the time.
Still got the ball?
The ball.
Yeah, but still got it.
He's sitting on it.
Of course they are.
Oh, dear.
Has he got a curator for that museum? Is there a post going?
It's Keith Loft.
That's not very big.
That's the ball.
There you go.
Here you go, Lawrence.
We dropped it.
Right. There's one piece of news that was missed out of that, and I hope that John is now going to do his personal tribute, because
I am not taking my clothes off.
Sadly, this last week, Wayne Fontana
And the
passed away.
Mindbenders.
Well, the Mindbenders are still there, but Wayne Fontana sadly is no longer with us.
Walking in the park, you know it wasn't quite dark. There was a man sitting on a fence. That one. He just moaned and it made no sense. And he just went, That's
There's
enough after me.
interference on my sound.
Fabulous lyric.
Right, we've got 3 minutes left. Brian.
What can you do in
got
3
two
minutes?
You've got 2 questions. Would you like to ask the first of those questions?
Yeah, give you time to think about it over the break. It's following on from Lol's news of the week last week. A couple of things he said got me thinking, right? So Lol told us last week that Sheffield Wednesday were deducted 12 points. So I did a bit of research, and the question is, who was the last team to score 12 at Bramall Lane? Right, so that's one question. Who were the last team to score 12 at Bramall Lane? And the other thing that Lol said was that Arsenal won a record 14th FA Cup final, or a record 14th FA Cup. So my question related to that is, who's actually played most at Wembley? Although Arsenal have won the record 14 times, who has actually played most at Wembley? So they're the things. No interneting, please. It's just what you can come up with. Okay, thanks, Keith. I'll give you the answer straight after if you like.
Yeah. So that's the 2 questions. We're down to 1 minute 36. So unless somebody's got a quick quip to add into matters, we might as well end this session.
Has anybody been watching Jack Whitehall, the sporting comedy programme he does? I think it's one of the funniest programmes on telly.
Right,
really? If you've not seen it, watch it.
What channel's
I
that
saw
on,
the
John?
first one.
What channel?
BBC.
It's a
BBC on a Friday
programme.
night.
Yeah.
John, I saw the first one. I thought it was rubbish, but it might have been better since then.
Oh, definitely. Like when he described Matthew Hoggard as like somebody taught a pie how to play cricket.
Right,
you're less used to watching rubbish.
Yeah, less than a minute.
You never stop. You never stop, do you?
See you in 5 minutes.